Happy day everyone, I am Dhanalakshmi. Today we are going to dive into a topic which might seem a bit mundane at first glance, but these are incredibly vital for professional world. Yes, I am talking about memorandum and circular letters. So you might be wondering why you should be learning how to write a memorandum and a circular letters at the college level. Well, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine that the memos and the circular letters are the unsung heroes of effective communication in the workplace. Learning to master these skills is not just about following some formalities or learning some rules and structures. It's also about equipping yourselves with tools which will become indispensable in your future career. In the real world, you will not be sending memes on social media. You will be crafting memorandum to convey critical information within your organization. You will not be sending casual text messages to your friends or your colleagues in the organization. You will be crafting circular letters to make any impactful announcement to the broader audience. So why does it matter? It matters because effective communication is the backbone of any successful venture. So it's very important to learn this, and whether you are leading a team or you are launching a project or you are just navigating the complexities of a professional life, your ability to convey the information clearly and professionally can make all the difference. So today we are not just going to learn some of the rules and structures of memos and circular letters, we will also be looking at the practical side of why learning these memos and circular letters can set you apart in your professional journey. Okay, we move on to the next slide. So memo. A memo or a memorandum is a written document that businesses use to communicate an announcement or notification. Memos are usually meant as mass communication to all members of an organization rather than a one-on-one personal message. So now what is this memo that we keep hearing about? So now think of memo as the business organization's VIP message. What do I mean by that? Very important paper. So now you have to think of the memo as the superhero cape of any business organization. Now think of this. You might have a very important message to share within your organization. Like it could be about an exciting project, or it could be about a launch of a product, or it could be just a friendly reminder to your friends or the colleagues in the organization about any office potluck. Now you don't want to shout it from the rooftop. Instead, you put on this memo cape and send it out to your members in the organization. So memorandum are the official messenger of the business organization. It's not like this one-on-one communication that you have with your colleagues. It's more of a grand scale. Yes, it's more about a grand scale where you send it out to everyone in the organization. You can put it simply as the town crier of the corporate kingdom, of course with a touch of sophistication. Yes, we move on to the next slide. So purpose of writing a memo, primarily the purpose of writing a memo is to inform. Occasionally you could involve any call to action or persuasive element in your memo. So let's just see some of the instances where a memo might be useful for you. First is you can write a memo when you want to inform your employees about company policy or any process changes. You can also write a memo providing an update on key projects or goals. You can also write a memo making an announcement about the company, such as an employee's promotion or a new hire. And you will be writing a memo when you want to remind your employees about a task that has to be completed within a stipulated time. You can also make a request to your employees for gathering any information. Yes, you can request an information from them, so for which you can use a memo. And memo communicate a message that the employees will refer to more than once. So memos are the efficient way to communicate a message briefly to the audience within the organization, to the employees within the organization. Additionally, you can also send a memo talking about the policy changes, the process changes. You can also send a memo talking about the meeting schedule, send a reminder to like I said, send a reminder to the other members in the team. Yes, so for which you can write a memo, and memo can also be written to your audience when you want them to print or save the information which they can use it for future references. So these are the reasons why you may need a memo. And now we move on to how to write a memo. Start with the header, always provide a clear header where you include some of the contents like the intended recipients, the sender, the date and the subject. Yes, and next you will provide a introductory note where you will introduce the main topic of the memo, and then we move on to the body paragraph. We divide the body paragraph into three. When it comes to the first paragraph, we clearly state the purpose of the memo, why this particular memo is being written or it is being circulated, that you will state it clearly, shortly and briefly. And when it comes to the next paragraph, you will discuss the problem and the task in detail. This is the core of the memo, where you will describe the solution and also provide recommendation to the recipient who is reading the memo. And the last paragraph, where you will wrap up the memo with a courteous ending, and you will also politely inform the readers of any actions required, ensuring that it is provided with clarity and professionalism. Next, the types of memo, I have listed only 3 for you, and I will also tell you the reason for why I have mentioned only 3. When it comes to the first one, which is telephone memo, which is short and brief, it's, as the name suggests, it's like a quick call, right? It will convey urgent and time sensitive information very shortly and briefly. Next comes the directive memo. Directive memo provides instructions or directives to actions that need to be taken within the organization. Next comes the round trip memo, which is the third one. Round trip memo is a two-way communication. Yes, this involves response or a feedback loop. Yes, where it encourages any response or feedback from the recipients. So these are the 3 foundational types that I have mentioned, and you also have various other types that branches out from the foundational ones, which is telephone memo, directive memo and round trip memo. So what are the other variations, where you have response memo, where you write a memo to expect a response from the recipient. You also have policy memo, where you tell the recipients about any changes in the policies that you have recently brought in. You also have warning memo in case you would like to send a warning to a person. As I said, memo, I will also be discussing what is the difference, the key difference between a circular and a memo. But when it comes to memo, it is for limited audience. It is very limited to even a single person or a group within the organization. So you can send a warning to a single person or any group where you will expect them to strictly adhere to the time of the organization, or you expect them to maintain a certain code of conduct in the organization, for which you can write a memo. So these are the other types that branches out from these foundational ones. So now we move on to the sample piece. So here you see the company name and the address mentioned on top. So this follows a standard one, the format, where you see you have two from the to is to who you are sending it to, and from where you will mention the company, whether it's from the manager or it's from the other person in the organization that you will mention. You also mention the date. Subject is very, very important, where you will mention the essence, the objective of this memo. And then you have the paragraph. You need not divide the paragraph into 3, that is the body paragraph into 3. You can just simply divide it into 3 parts when it comes to the message, and then you close it off with the salutation. So this is it. And now the tips for writing an effective memo. So how do you write it effectively? Structure your information logically, because that will help the recipient understand the flow of the information. And the second point is proofread for clarity and errors. After you are done writing, thoroughly review your memo, ensuring that it is clear and error free, because that will help the recipient understand the essence of the message. Next one is use clear and straightforward language. Always use direct and very simple language. Avoid any ambiguity. Avoid any use of jargons or complexities in your message. And the last one is keep it concise and to the point. It's very important that you make it very short and very clear to the point, so that the recipient understands the intended message. So now we move on to the circular letter. So far we have seen how to write a memo and what are the features of a memo. So memo, when it comes to that, it's all about like a secret message that is shared within the walls of the organization. But when it comes to circular letter, it steps on to the bigger stage. So let's see the definition. A circular letter is a written document used for external communication with a wide audience, often for announcements or invitations. So it's for external communication. As I said, it's not like the silent whispers within the organization. It takes up the bigger stage. It goes on to the outside world. It reaches out to wider audience irrespective of where they belong to. Yes, it's also for announcements and invitations. When it comes to memos are particularly for updates or directives, but when it comes to circular letters, circulars takes up the center stage for announcements and invitations. So now we will move on to the features of circular letters in business communication. First one is explains interest and benefit. Circular letters are crafted to explain the benefit and the point of interest to the recipient. Yes, this will highlight what the recipient stand to gain or find interesting or any engagement, interesting or encouraging engagement in the letter. And the next one is wide circulation. This is the important feature when it comes to circular letters. It reaches out to audience who are beyond the immediate colleagues. Yes, so you can talk to the other members in the company, the other members in the organization. Yes, so outside the realm of that you are working in. So it's very important that we have the practice of writing a circular letter. So it also promotes a lot of engagement with the other external companies. So now the next one is conciseness. Yes, you keep it very clear to the point where you only talk about the pertinent details and chuck out any unnecessary details that are not relevant for the intended message. Okay, and the next one is persuasiveness. Circular letters are inherently persuasive in nature. Yes, because whether it comes to promoting a product, whether it comes to telling the other organizations about the events that is happening in your organization. So it's very important that they are persuasive in nature because they influence or impact the recipient positively. And next, reliability. The one biggest feature of circular letter is it is a reliable source of information because it comes from the organization. So now this is a sample piece for circular letters. So this does not follow any standard format. You can clearly start with the body paragraph. You have the company name. You also have the address, the phone number and email ID. And one important thing to note down here is the circular number. There you have on the left side corner on top, you have the circular number. What is the circular number? It refers to a reference or the serial number, which is a unique identifier that can serve the purpose of quick retrieval or for record keeping. Because for example, you may want to refer back to the previous conversation or the past conversation that you had with the particular organization from which you have received a circular letter. So it's very important to refer back to the serial number, so it also helps you trace back the origin and the source of the information that you have in hand. So circular number is very important, so that need to be included. And again you can divide the paragraph into three, where the first paragraph talks about the purpose, the second paragraph discussing the problems or the task in detail, and the third paragraph about the wrapping up or any call for action that you require from the recipient. Okay. So the next is the importance of circular letter. Why do we write circular letter? Circular letters are very important. It serves as a powerful tool for businesses who are looking to expand their market reach. Yes, so these are very important. And now comes the economical publicity tool. What is this economical publicity tool? It is an easy publicity medium because this can act as a cost effective way to generate publicity. Unlike the traditional methods of advertising, when it comes to circular letters, they just reach out to the audience beyond the current boundaries that you have. So it's an easy publicity medium. Labor saving device, yes, it can act as a labor saving device for you because it also saves a lot of time and resources for the company. Circular letters can be sent out through different means of communication, so it's very important. And the next one is prompt product publicity. Because circular letters conveys the message in swiftly, so it can easily attract the potential customers. And widespread reach, I have been time and again repeating you that those circular letters and the importance of circular letter, it's accessibility to everybody outside the organization. It can reach out to any external members, associates and firms. So that's the importance of circular letter. Now, how do we write a circular letter effectively? So, the first one is include relevant details. It is very important that you include only pertinent details and rule out any unnecessary information, because you will not be wasting the time of the recipient. And the next one is know your audience. It is very important that you also understand who you are writing to, who you are reaching out to, because when you understand the demographic that you are addressing, you will also craft your circular letters pertaining to that. And next, professional tone. You are not writing a legal document nor a friendly message to your friend. So, it is very important to strike a balance between being professional yet approachable. And the next one is clearly state the purpose. You have to mention the objective. You have to clearly state the objective of this particular circular letter. And the next one is call to action. When you craft your call to action very meticulously in your circular letter, that will direct your audience towards the desired action. Yes, you will immediately tell them what is the next step that you require from them in the circular letter. And conciseness is the key. The very important tip for writing a effective circular letter is conciseness. Always offer brevity without sacrificing the substance, because that will help the audience understand the essence of the communication intended. Now, we have seen circular letter and the memo. Let us understand the key difference between them, so that will help you distinguish between the both. So, usually several people confuse the two for the same, that is circular letter and memorandum, but these are fairly different from each other. So, when it comes to circular letters, it is intended for internal and external communication. It can be even circulated within the organization, it can also be circulated outside the organization. So, mostly for promoting and advertising purpose, and this again is for announcements and invitation, as I said, and it follows a formal format, it follows a professional tone, and it pertains to only general information. So, as I said, general information, this does not talk about any, this does not warrant a particular response from you immediately. It can even be merely an advertisement about launching of a product or about anything that happens within the organization. And the main important thing is large distribution. Yes, it can reach out to wider audience, it can reach out to anybody in every corner of the world. And the next one is memo. So, but this one, the audience here is the internal audience. Mostly it is intended for people within the organization. As I said, it is limited to even single person or a group within the organization, and this is for internal communication only. And it follows the standard format where you mention the from, the to, and then the subject, and also the body paragraph that follows after that. And specific information, whether you expect a response from them, whether you want them to be a part of an event, whether you are sending a warning to the members in the team. So, it is very, very specific in that case. So, now it is limited distribution. It is only for people within the organization. So, thank you.